All right, welcome back to the channel, everybody. If you guys are new, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. My name is Anthony Salic, and here we are going to be reviewing episode number 3 of She-Hulk. Just got done watching it, literally like 3 minutes ago. And yeah, so here we go. So last time we left off with the sort of reveal of um the sort of video of Wong and Abomination fighting as we previously saw in Shang-Chi. And this episode sort of continues on that storyline, but also gives us a little bit of a side story as well with it. You know, 30-minute comedy again, so it's not like we're expecting a whole lot. They're sort of doing, and this is something that I noticed about this show, is that when it comes to the overall story, there really isn't an overall story. Like, it's a week by week, sort of like a case by case scenario of what this show is going to be. And so, the first episode was the origin story. This episode was sort of the second episode was sort of the legal story or the lawyer story. And now this one is like, okay, now this is like the Abomination / Wong episode. So, they're doing a great job going case by case. Here's a piece of this, and then at the end of the episode we give a tease for what's to come up ahead. But we'll get to that in the end. So they pick off, or this episode starts off with the reveal, obviously, of the Abomination versus Wong fight. We end up finding out that when Wong does show up to Jennifer Walters' court or workplace, he pretty much reveals that in order for him to become the Sorcerer Supreme, he has to take on an opponent worthy of becoming that. So I don't know if this has something to do with the comics. I'm not too familiar with the Doctor Strange comics, but from what I gathered from that was, okay, if you want to become the Sorcerer Supreme, you're gonna have to take on some sort of like big opponent and be able to like defeat them and then be able to take on the Sorcerer Supreme mantle. So if that's true, then that means that like the Ancient One, Doctor Strange at one point had to encounter somebody. I'm assuming that like maybe someone like Dormammu. Maybe Dormammu was like Doctor Strange. It's like big bad that he had to take on. He didn't necessarily kill, but he did, defeat him in a way. But we sort of get a little bit more of Wong and his whole storyline. Also, quick shout out. I love how in the beginning, the She-Hulk mentions that I know that she literally breaks the fourth wall. She's like, I know you guys are excited about Wong, but just remember whose show this is. And she's like, nah, it's not going to be like a big cameo every single week. So that's sort of like a big, like, oh, we got Wong in it, but don't expect him to be the whole main show. Like, don't expect him to be the main character of this whole show. Which, again, the way that they've been marketing this whole show, really, like, you expect cameos, but I'm glad that the show is actually like letting you know in advance, hey, let's not get people, expectations too high, especially with like the amount, like expectations completely ruin a lot of Marvel movies. I mean, like you literally look at like WandaVision, Spider-Man No Way Home, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Like these are movies that had such high expectations and overall just led a lot of people disappointed. And another thing that they ended up doing was they actually ended up sort of like calling out the internet people. They talked about how, or they showed a clip of a bunch of fans or a bunch of people online essentially protesting and getting mad at the fact that She-Hulk is essentially now a hero in the MCU, and sort of like I remember they do what was it? What was the joke that they do? They did some kind of joke where it was like some guy, he was like, oh, so now they're taking the manliness of a Hulk and putting it into a woman. And it's just like they basically throw shots at the people who complain about this on Twitter. and Instagram. It's just like, okay, that's sort of cool that we get to see it, but they really are taking this to a whole nother level, especially the way that phase 4 has really been. A lot of people have been sort of complaining online about the amount of women that have been getting a lot of heroes, and you look at like Kate Bishop, Yelena, Miss Marvel, right? These are all women that are being introduced. And of course, there's a lot of people out there who don't agree with this idea. They all want their straight white male heroes. And while it's cool to see those heroes continue their journeys, it's also cool to see sort of new heroes being introduced, new people of color, new women, new just any type of heroes are pretty cool, no matter what. Whether or not you gotta like them, it's completely up to you. Just don't sort of force others to dislike the characters as well. So they did a great job with that. They sort of have like this A and B storyline, and they do make a joke about it, where the A storyline is She-Hulk and her sort of trial with Abomination and Wong, and then they have this B storyline that takes place with, God, I don't even remember the characters' names. This shapeshifter who is a magic elf from New Asgard. And I don't know if this is the same elf as the ones. No, it's not a dark elf. But it is an elf that can shapeshift. And I'm wondering if this has to do with something like maybe related to Loki. Because Loki could also shapeshift. We've seen that happen in the Thor movie, so maybe this might be an Easter egg for that character, or maybe this might have some sort of tie-in later. Again, it's a case by case, episode by episode storyline, so maybe these characters won't show up again, but maybe they will. Going back and sort of, actually, give me a second. Alright, just had to quickly pause my recording. But yeah, so another thing was like, they're really sort of doing these whole storylines by like case by case, and then when you finish the episode, there's some sort of cliffhanger that leads you into the next episode. So if they're like, I'm noticing now that we're probably not going to get a big bad in terms of like what the other shows have done, but we are probably going to get some sort of maybe big event. I know that a lot of people are saying maybe it could be the Daredevil event. Who knows? We'll see as we get later down the line. But, the way this show is paced, it's sort of like you get a new thing every single week. And not every single episode is going to directly connect to the previous episode, which is cool. So yeah, Blonsky ends up winning the trial. My boy's free. He gets parole under the condition that he doesn't change into the Abomination again, which again was cool. We get to see him and his 7 soulmates. Wong actually does a pretty funny joke where one of the court people or law people was like, you just admitted a crime, right? And then Wong's like, and this is where I dip. And I think that sort of fits in with the whole Wong memes. Is like, how Wong's like the guy to leave whenever shit goes down. This is sort of like another example of him doing the same thing as well. Really, really did love it. Definitely makes She-Hulk a part of the MCU. Like, there's no denying it now. They make even a bunch of jokes like, that she got declined by the Avengers, but knowing the story so far, she didn't even request to join them. Maybe we'll see that at the end of the show. And I forgot what else. They had a Megan Thee Stallion cameo, which cool, great. They also had the post-credit scene, which might tick some people off, might make people happy. It depends on whichever one you like. And okay, so the ending of the episode is sort of like the big cliffhanger for next episode. We get to see a version of the Wrecking Crew, which for those of you who don't know, they were a Hulk villain group, and they're like these big, in the comics as well, or in the comics speaking, they're like this big like group of like guys who have like these tools. Like, for example, one of them has like a ball and chain, another one has like a staff, and they essentially just go around and try to beat up the Hulk. In this version, it's males. It's just like 4 males with Asgardian weapons, from what She-Hulk described, and they're trying to somehow extract Jen's blood. Now, where that story could head to, we don't know. They also did say that there is a boss who's in charge of this group. So there is supposed to be like a bigger boss, and I already know some people are going to be like, oh, could the boss be Kingpin? And that's how Matt Murdock is in this show, because he has ties into Kingpin, and maybe the episode where they team up is going to be against the Wrecking Crew to prevent Jen's blood from going into the hands of Kingpin. Again, it's like, there's a lot of theories that are already going around, so I'm not going to sit here and just name a bunch of theories, but we're going to have to see. There's still like a lot of things that we're already 1/3 done with the show, and there still is a lot of sort of things that they haven't even talked about. Obviously, we know like Daredevil, but then we also have the Wrecking Crew now. We also have Frogman. We also have more Hulk storyline potentially if we get down the road, and just overall, much more to come. We still got 6 episodes left. This episode, I did enjoy it more than episode 2, just because, again, I really do think that now that we got the introduction down, now we can start focusing on, okay, she's a Hulk by day, or I'm sorry, she's a lawyer by day and a Hulk by night. She's going to be kicking ass, beating cases, and I'm excited. Can't wait to see what else we get. So, with that said, this episode was better than episode 2. Don't really know what it rated. 8.5. CGI, I had no problems with it. Literally, one thing that I've learned for these past couple of days is that Twitter and Instagram opinions don't fucking matter. Those shits do not fucking matter. People can complain all they want. People can say the MCU is dead, yet this show receives high ratings. Yet every single MCU movie makes at least over 500 million, which is still enormous. So say whatever you want. This show is great so far. Can't wait to see more of it. My name is Anthony Salic. If you are new, please feel free. Leave a like, comment, subscribe for more content, and I will see you all next time. Peace.